Next, the Mayor's being asked to consider allowing tube stations to be sponsored in a bid to freeze fares. Transport bosses have dismissed the idea as too costly, but Conservative members of the London Assembly say private investment could raise £136 million and prevent any fare increases for a year. Here's our transport correspondent, Tom Edwards.
Could a sports company sponsor Oxford Circus or Harrods endorse Knightsbridge Station? Or Baker Street be sponsored by a baker? That's what the Tories on the Assembly want, and commuters seem receptive.
It'd be all about making the right choices or having some governance around sponsorship, but yeah, I don't see why not.
Especially if it'd keep your fares down.
I'd love it to keep the fares down.
If it brings in more money, which can benefit the customer, it's good.
The Tories say that extra sponsorship money could raise £136 million a year, and that could be used to freeze fares.
A little bit of sponsorship on the tube isn't going to hurt anybody, and it's going to mean that it keeps their fares low. It's a no-brainer, but for some reason TfL seems to be out of sync with what Londoners think on this issue.
The Mayor's flagship transport projects, the bike hire and the cable car, are already sponsored. Not everyone likes it, but they have contributed to the costs. So will we see more endorsements on public transport? In the next few weeks, Transport for London could potentially see the amount of money it gets from central government cut. That means it's already trying to be more commercial through retail space, at tube stations, through sponsorship and even through office space. It wants to increase commercial revenue by 50% over the next decade to £3.4 billion.
People like sponsorship if they see it as being free money, but when it comes down to having their local station's name changed into some pun, that's the point when people think it looks tacky, and frankly I agree with them.
And Labour says today's report from the Tories proves high fares are still an issue.
People would find navigating the tube very difficult if stations were constantly changing their names. So yes, we agree, the fares are too high, but I don't think they're on the right track for an answer.
This type of sponsorship might be a long way off, but it does highlight the pressures on TfL's finances as public subsidy decreases. Tom Edwards, BBC London News.